the General Conference to give a brief introduction about one of the concerns that was raised here in the plenary and also repeated in our committee yesterday.
Thank you, Gerson. Madam Chair, I also serve as the Data Protection Officer for the General Conference. There has been several references to ensuring that we are compliant with GDPR, and we also know that there is a growing number of data protection regulations that have been rising across the world. We take those very seriously. However, just to provide some clarification to the delegation, although there is some restrictions on access to personal data, there are some lawful bases for accessing personal identifiable information. And this is relying particularly on GDPR, which has some of the highest levels of restrictions. Some of the ways that you can do that is if there's obviously consent from the principal person, if there's contractual necessity, legal obligations, if there's a vital interest, or if there's a public task over official authority. But the one that really is relevant to our discussion is if an organization has a legitimate interest. What GDPR says in specifics is that when organizations may access personal identifiable information if they have a legitimate business interest in doing so, or a purpose, provided that this interest is balanced against the individual's rights and freedoms. Legitimate interest needs to be just documented and justified, which is what we're doing here in the church manual process by actually identifying what is the legitimate interest and the need for it. And there are some key considerations and conditions for safeguards, meaning one, we must have data minimization, meaning that we just limit access to the information to only those who have the necessity and a purpose for accessing that information. Only authorized personnel can access it. There has to be some transparency, which means the data subject must know typically who is accessing their information and why, and for how long. And then the individual has a right to access that same personal identifiable information. And of course, we have to have some documentation and accountability. That is all the steps that we are taking right now are in line with the data protection regulations that allow access to personal identifiable information for legitimate reasons. And of course, we leave it open for our specific territories to tailor their processes to meet their specific regulations that are relevant to their jurisdictions. Madam Chair.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Josh, for the introduction and explanation. The first item we have regarding this area of finance and tithes and offerings is 411. And again, we're going to show you on the screen the editorial changes we are proposing that in addition to those who were there already listed when it was presented before. As you can see highlighted on lines 15 to 17, we are deleting the first part of the first line and starting with the words, in loving response to the gift of salvation, Bible quotes, and in accordance with the biblical plan, Bible quote. This is the recommendation of the committee. I move.
Thank you. It's been moved and it's been seconded, and I see Sister Ingrid from the Netherlands Union on microphone number 1.
Dear Chair, I want to comment on what the legal person just said about legitimate interest. It's true, but in one of the motions that we have voted, the nominating committee is getting permission to ask information from persons outside of the nominating committee, others than a pastor and a treasurer. And I don't think that that abides by GDPR. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I would just draw the attention that the comments on GDPR related to item 405. But your point is well taken. Thank you, Sister Ingrid. And we now move to microphone number 4, Paul Ananaba, the Ebony Conference in WAD.
Madam Chair, I appreciate the point made by Jose, but I think that it will be better that we design a pre-consent form. And I think the Office of General Counsel should look into that, which can be adaptable to the fields across the world, properly structured and written, such that members waive certain rights against the church in terms of data protection and all that. We can circumvent all that weird of things. So I suggest that it would be important that we move in that direction, design a form that will be close to what we have as conflict of interest form, but it wouldn't be conflict of interest form, but it will be pre-consent form saying, I authorize my church to look at my records, and I absolve the church of any legal responsibility or liabilities. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. The point is well taken. And now we move to microphone number 2, Mandy Viha Kavore from the Trans-European Division. My apologies, Mandy, for your surname.
No problem. Thank you, Madam Chair. I stand in favor of this motion or amendment because, well, I was present in the Church Manual Committee where we were able to hear everybody's opinions. And although I stand firmly in disagreement to the very original text, and I know that there were also people who stand firmly in agreement to the original text, I'm thankful to the Church Manual Committee that we were able to achieve, so to say, a harmony between the two views. And I am thankful to, yes, the Church Manual Committee that since we are a worldwide church, we're able to achieve a compromise. And I like that direction. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sister Mandy. Appreciate it. Sorry. Sorry. We're consulting, and I missed that you moved the previous question. You all know... Oh, you didn't. Oh, sorry. My apologies. This is what happens when you're trying to multitask and sit and manage all of you and how to manage all the questions. So that brings us to mic number 1, Lydia Malachek from the Adriatic Union Conference, TED.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I agree with this amendment, and I move previous question.
Thank you, Sister Lydia, for saving my blushes. It's been moved, it's been seconded. You know the routine. If you want to stop debate, please raise your card now. Thank you. Those who want to continue debate, please raise your card now. Thank you. It's been carried. So now we come to the vote of item 411, tithe in the church manual. All those in favor, please raise your yellow card and vote now. Yes. Thank you. Those opposed, please raise your card now for no. Okay, it's been carried. Now I have a little dilemma. We cannot complete everything and complete our agenda this morning. So the rest of the church manual items will be moved to Friday afternoon.
No. Oh, excuse me. Friday morning.
Tomorrow morning. Sorry, I'm being corrected. There will be a period tomorrow morning, and if we get through them tomorrow morning, before we go to the main agenda item, then we're done. If we don't, then we will come back on Friday afternoon. So we will now begin to transition. I see there is a speaker on microphone 12. Elton Demores, Texas Conference, NAD.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have enjoyed meaningful connections during our group discussions yesterday, and I believe it's going to be even more today. What a blessing it has been to all of us. Really, really important, meaningful discussions. However, we must remember that we still have important business to address today. And I don't want to leave it for tomorrow. So to ensure we manage our time effectively and can return to our group discussions without the pressure of pending items, Madam Chair, I respectfully move that we pause our group discussions, continue with the church manual agenda. This will allow us to complete the necessary items regarding the church manual, and then once we finish addressing the revised church manual items, we can immediately and without pressure return to our group discussions. I believe this approach will facilitate a smooth and productive session for everyone here. I so move, Madam Chair.
Thank you. It's been moved. Is there a second? I can see cards waving. There is a second. You are leaving me with really a challenge this morning. All those in favor of continuing with the church manual, please raise your card now. Thank you. Those moving to go with our agenda as planned, raise your card now. It's carried. Now I'm going to appeal to you. We have discussed these items long and hard. We have been in discussion in the church manual in total 6.5 hours yesterday. We have well thought out, maybe not perfect suggestions, but we have listened. Now let's see how quickly and expeditiously, without rushing, but still to really move this along, we can get through the rest of our items. Can you work with me? Thank you. Elder Gershon.
Thanks for having me back here. Just a brief comment, and I really appreciate all the input we are receiving, not only here, but also yesterday for several hours. And in addition to what Josh Pierre said earlier, I'd like to remind all the delegates that each ward division is entitled to develop a supplement to the church manual that will cover specific